Welcome to Blue Talks.
Well, hello everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all at Columbia University in New York and be speaking to you. Have you ever watched a dove take flight? There is almost something sacred about it. The softness of its wings, the steadiness in its glide. It rises, it doesn't rush. It doesn't flap in panic. It rises and it glides, quietly, gracefully, carrying a message, a presence of peace. A few years back, I visited New York for the first time. And it's interesting because I wasn't as much impressed by the grandiosity of the city as I was simply fascinated by the mourning doves and pigeons that you see everywhere, on the sidewalks, on the streets, on the buildings. In parks, you see them in flocks sitting on the benches next to a person who feeds them, or even all over their body. It really caught my attention. In the midst of chaos and this crazy pace of life that New York represents, there are these millions of doves, these tiny little creatures that live alongside humans, so unbothered, unafraid, and it seems like always at peace. And I wondered if there was something they were trying to tell me. Today I invite you to listen to what I call the Dove Song, a journey to wholeness, growth, and transformation. It's not just about wellness in the physical sense, but it's about wholeness. It's about healing. It's about transforming from the fragments of our lives into something beautiful. This is my story, a journey from brokenness and trauma to wholeness, growth, and transformation. I grew up without my father, who was an alcoholic. I used to see him maybe a few times a year. And raised by my mother. I experienced a lot of abuse as a child and bullying at school. There was this pain inside that I didn't know how to name, and this constant battle inside with the feelings of abandonment, anxiety, and fear. That trauma didn't just live in my memories, it lived in my body, my nervous system, my breath. I started believing the lie that I'm not worthy and not good enough. I started attracting relationships that mirrored what I believed I deserved: pain, rejection, conditional love. We often think that wellness is exercise or drinking enough water. But wellness is impossible without wholeness, without healing. You see, the dove cannot fly with one wing. It only flies when two wings are strong. One wing is not enough to take off. That's why focusing just on one aspect of our wholeness often leads to stress, illness, or unfulfillment. Wellness starts with honoring our body's rhythm. Physical habits like sleep, nourishment, movement, mental hygiene, mindfulness, setting boundaries, decluttering old negative thought patterns, taking care of spiritual part of ourselves, your mind, body, and your spirit. So this is wholeness. Each day, listening to all three, your body, mind, and spirit. Since early childhood, I was involved in a variety of sports. And although I was very successful in sports, physically fit, and carrying that passion for fitness throughout my whole life, I still run marathons, I wasn't well mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. At the very core of my being, I was hurting, I was angry, I struggled with low self-esteem. To come to wholeness, I had to address all parts of myself and heal. For many years, I avoided the pain. I pretended, I overachieved, I stayed in toxic relationships just to feel something familiar. When my daughter was born, I felt this strong responsibility to flee the abuse in my marriage. And I was raising her as a single mother since she was 10 months old. I battled some health challenges and over the years went through a lot of stress. You see, the dove begins as something fragile, hidden. It hatches in the darkness. Did you know that mourning doves are resilient due to their adaptability and unique survival strategies? They can thrive in a wide range of habitats, including harsh environments like deserts. I want to challenge you today. Are we not so much more than the doves? Healing required me to face the shadows, the false belief that I wasn't lovable, the fears, the imposter syndrome. I had to sit with hard questions. I had to feel what I never allowed myself to feel as a child. And slowly, through the years of personal self-development and my faith in God, I built this unshakable resilience. I grew, not despite all the pain, challenges, and setbacks, but because of it. Growth means allowing ourselves to mold, to shed the old feathers, to descend gracefully into the unknown, and allow for a new growth to happen. Leaning into discomfort and pain and believing that something good is unfolding. That was the beginning of transformation, not just change, transformation. Because change is surface level, but transformation, it's cellular, it's soul deep. Transformation requires us to lean into and gradually transform into the true self of ourselves in order to reach our potential. Let me illustrate this for you. When my daughter was just a few months old, the very first book that I got for her was this picture puzzle book. And each page had a 4-piece animal puzzle. And she wasn't even 1 year old when she learned how to put those puzzle pieces of each image together. Sometimes they would get lost and we had to find them to be able to complete the image puzzle. And so each of us is like 1,000 pieces puzzle that we have to put together to create this beautiful image. Each part of ourselves and each piece of our story, good and bad, is so essential that we cannot put the whole puzzle together without one piece missing. And so, in conclusion, I want to focus on these three key points: wholeness, growth, and transformation. True wellness is impossible without wholeness, taking care of your body, mind, spirit, embracing oneself, including your strengths and weaknesses, leads to self-acceptance healing, and wholeness. All the unknown and the uncomfortable, all the pain, challenges, and setbacks are important or even necessary for our growth. And so our task is sustaining wholeness and continuous growth, so gradually we can lean into and transform into the perfect image of ourselves in order to be able to fulfill our potential and purpose. Let your life become like a dove song, a tender declaration of healing and peace. You are not broken. You are just putting the pieces of your puzzle together. You are becoming whole. You are growing. You are transforming. You are the dove. Let yourself fly. And so in closing my talk, I want to lead us through this visual meditation, because as leaders and entrepreneurs, we often may face some challenges, stress situations. Stress is inevitable, and I want to present you with this good tool that maybe you can incorporate in your wellness routine as well. Visual meditation is good because we have imagination, and with imagination we can expand our capacity to deal with different stressful situations. So if you want to close your eyes, and I'm going to lead you through this visual meditation and some breathing. If you can imagine yourself in the midst of mountains, imagine that you are walking in the field of wildflowers and the tall grass, and the wind is breezing. And as you're walking forward, you come to a hill. The sky is blue and the sun is shining. You're walking up this hill, and once you are on the hill, you see there is a lake beneath, and the water is so crystal clear. And you visualize that you run down this hill towards the water, and the water is lapping to the shore. You cup your hands, you walk into the lake, you feel the coolness of the water. You cup your hands and you take some water in, and you feel the coolness of it. You are surrounded by this serenity and beauty and calmness of nature. And you take this all in. You emerge from the water and you sit by the tree. And you remind yourself that this calmness and this solitude and this wellness is always present, is always there. And you can always take it in. And we are going to breathe in with our nose on the count to 4, and we're going to breathe out on the count to 5. Okay, we breathe in. Deep breathe in, we breathe in the calm, the relaxation, all the goodness that the universe has to offer, and we breathe out stress and all the negative feelings and thoughts on the count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Breathe in, and we breathe out. Let's do it 3 times. Breathe in with your nose and exhale with your mouth. And open your eyes. Thank you.